Hi everyone, and welcome to the Wednesday class. Got Basti with me in the chat today, so he'll be looking after you.
Hi everyone.
Away from somewhere in North Norfolk, we never know quite where. And we've got some very special news for you today because, and I've got a special slide for it, right, which is, believe it or not, it's our birthday. It's actually one whole year that we've been doing the Wednesday classes just for you. Can you believe that? And I know it looks a bit sweet, that cake, but it is vegan. Okay, it's a vegan cake. So happy birthday to us. We're very excited. We've managed to keep the classes going for a whole year. Thank you very much for all the birthday wishes in the chat. So yeah, can you believe it? A whole year. And I think we've all done really great. We're still here. We're still relatively sane. We can continue the class. And what I thought I'd do is I'm going to ask the very first questions that I asked a year ago now. The two questions are, how are you coping? And which zone do you want to work with? So I thought we'd ask those very same questions. And what I'll do is I'll reference them back a year. I'll have a look back through the archive for the very first webinar class and find out exactly how things have changed. Okay, so thinking about how you're feeling right now, let's just see whether how you're coping. This is what I asked you 1 year ago, everyone. I'm going to share the same poll today, and I just want you to just say whether you're coping well, you're okay, neutral, stressed, or very stressed. And once we've got those answers in, we will cross-reference them and see how we're doing. And hopefully these whole year of classes have helped you to survive the last year. And do you know what? Another thing I'd really like to ask you, and I'm going to do it right now, live on the thing. I'm going to ask you, were you at the first Wednesday class a year ago? And the options are yes or no. Okay, I'm going to share that. So were you at the very first Wednesday class a year ago? Let's see how many people we've retained for a whole year. That would be exciting to see, and how many we've picked up along our journey through the year. Well, look at that. About a third of you were at the very first class, and look at that. You've kept with us the whole way through. That's absolutely awesome. And I hope you've really enjoyed it as much as we have in doing it. So let's find out. Take the birthday cake away now. It's just making me hungry this time in the morning. Okay, so let's find out whether the burners have changed over an entire year. So we're going to go straight into scanning the burners, as we always do. And again, in the week, before next week, I'll cross-reference it and we'll see how much it's changed. Okay, so what you need to do is get your piece of paper, if you're going to record it, and put it into 3 areas like we've done before. Okay, and we'll find out which burner you would like to work on. And we're going to scan the 3 burners. I'd like to do that with me. So you can do it sitting down or standing up. I'll just shuffle back far enough so you can see my 3 burners. Okay, so here we go. We've got 3 burners. We've got upper, middle, and the lower burner. The lower burner is where the lower dantian is. So we're just going to close our eyes for a second, scan internally, and just feel out what's happening and what is it like here in this lower burner. Okay, got it? Right, and I'm going to draw that in the lower burner box. I can't believe that you've been with us many of you have been with us for a whole year. That's absolutely amazing. What a journey we've been on. And I can tell you my burners have definitely changed in the last year. Okay. Right. Okay, good. Now I'm going to go up to the middle burner. That's got the liver and the stomach and some of the intestines in it. This area goes through into the back. Okay, this whole area here. We're going to close our eyes for a moment. Tune internally. Okay, got it. Turn that into a picture. And I'm going to turn that in. It's been absolutely fascinating to see how the zones and the burners have changed over the whole year, and as we've gone in and out of different lockdowns and different things have happened. Just going to write that in. Okay, and then we're going to go for the upper burner, which is the lungs and the heart. Okay, and we're just going to tune into those. Closing my eyes again. Okay, very good. Okay, and just to remind you, the lower burner should feel nice and strong, quite firm and strong. The middle burner's best if it's kind of fairly open and relaxed. You don't want it to be hot or anything. And the upper burner should be kind of calm and kind of like a moist, like a mist feeling, they say. The upper burner is like a mist. So you just want to be heavy or blocked in any way. Okay, so now I'd just like you to have a look at your pictures, which I'm doing now. I'm going, I really need this Wednesday class more than ever. And I'm going to run the poll to find out which is the winning burner this week, 1 year on, and we'll see how we're going to do. Now, I'm really interested to see which burner would you like to work on most today. And we've seen very interesting changes. Sometimes we've had massive swings towards the upper burner. Recently, the middle burner's gone in and out of favour, and it looks like the middle burner has come back in now. The middle burner is in the lead again, and also the lower burner slowly crept up over the time, but I'll have the actual figures for you ready for you next week, and I'll look at the polls. Okay, look at that. That's a significant change from last week. If you remember, what's been happening recently is the upper burner has been taking over. So it looks like the middle burner, we need attention for that, which is just as well because that fits with point of the week. Very excited about point of the week, which we'll do. Which just leaves us with one other thing I'd like to do, just to cross-reference again with previous years, and that is which zone do you want? I'm just going to go pop back into the zone area. And remember, we've had, over the last few months, we've had a creeping up of people who are edging into that blue zone. And that is very important information for us in terms of how we set the exercises up. So let's go for this. If you feel you're in the green zone, everything is cool, you're pretty much okay. Maybe you're going into the red zone. That's when the sympathetic nervous system activates. You get this fight or flight response. You feel kind of like activated. It can turn into worry, frustration, but also can turn into kind of action as well. But what is not so nice is when we start getting into that helpless freeze state, which is the way the nervous system protects us finally when we get too stressed. And that's an ancient part of the nervous system, the dorsal vagal system, that was developed in reptiles, and that's not so good for us as mammals. We don't like to be, too shut down. So let's find out which zones you are in, or which zone or zones you're in, and don't forget that there are combinations as well. So maybe you're going in between the green and red, and in between the red and the blue. Okay, it looks like we've got a similar thing that's been happening over the last few weeks, in that we've got an increase in overall in the number of people who are tipping into that blue zone there. And we would really like to look after you. If you really do start finding that you're in the blue zone more often than not, you really need to get help at that stage, whether it's counselling or medical help, or come see some Shiatsu practitioner, you'll to get some help on that, if you do find yourself sticking into that zone. Okay, very good. Okay, but a whole 16% of you are safely in the green zone. That's really nice. And going between the green and red zone is not such a problem as long as you can get back down into that zone again. And that's probably one of the most valuable things about doing this class. Okay, so bearing in mind we've got middle zone, middle burner, and we've got just, some of you into that red and blue zone. We'll have to figure that out. Okay, cool. So let's get rid of this slide and let's get on with the exercises. Okay, and we've got point of the week coming up. We're in the wood element still, so it's going to be a liver and gallbladder point. I've got my trusty manual of acupuncture here, which I've been reading as part of my prep, all very fascinating, and I'll be sharing some of that with you halfway through the session when we get to it. Okay, very good. A little bit of water. If you hear any bangings and crashings, by the way, the roofers are doing the building next to us, and I have asked them to try and be quiet for the next hour. If you hear any bangs or crashes, nothing to be worried about. It's just the builders next door. Okay, cool. So let's go. Okay, for our very first birthday session. Okay, so as there's quite a lot of you going between the green and the red zone, and also into the blue zone, one of the best things we can do is actually shaking. And the reason for that is because it deactivates any tension that's caused when we go into the red zone. And also shaking can also unfreeze the body if we start going into the blue zone. So the red zone is kind of like, and the blue zone is kind of, okay? And so shaking is the dual purpose technique for that, because what it does is it helps do that. And the doing is also good for that because it de-stresses the muscles, but also what it does is if you start to freeze up, it will actually unfreeze the body tissue, and that makes you feel more alive. So shaking and tapping is really a good way to go. So let's do plenty of that today and get everything loosened up, get all the channels open, and then once we've done that, then we can concentrate on the internals and we can get the burners and the breathing sorted out. Sound like a good idea? I think it does. Okay, so let's rub our hands together and get them nice and warm. Okay, and I'm going to shake our hands out. We shake them out of the wrists. Keep all those little fingers nice and relaxed. We're going to release the elbows. Release the shoulders. And then we're bringing it into the chest area, shaking. Okay, if you find anywhere that you really want to release, then you can focus it into any of the areas that you want. So if you've got a bit of stiffness in the shoulders, maybe in the chest area, we can really let that go and shake it. And we're going to go up. Let's get that head connected to the heavens. We're going to relax the jaw, relax our throat. And see if we can get a connection all the way from the top of the head, all the way down through into the arms and the upper body. It's very important. Yang channels that run from the head down the arms. So we're kind of like getting this movement away from the head. Very good. Okay, excellent. Keep that jaw relaxed. Keep that head floating up. Very good. Okay, so now let's just keep shaking, and we're going to go down to the diaphragm. This is a really important part of the body to release, especially for those of you who voted for the middle burner, because the middle burner is directly connected to the diaphragm. It's a big muscle that actually connects up the ribs, and it separates the upper heater from the middle and the lower heaters. And it's a place that can easily get tense. So if we can just bring our attention down into that area there, and just relax the middle of our body, just keep shaking it. That's it, very good. Now let's go down into the internal organs, and we're just going to try and relax and release all of those internal organs there, okay? And again, this is really important from a nervous system perspective, because the vagal nerve connects down into the intestines, and that's why when you've had a nice meal and you're relaxing, you feel kind of content, because it's sending a message to your brain that you're kind of safe and that everything's fine and you're being fed. So if we can release this area, we're just doing it internally now by just gently shaking all those organs, relaxing them, then that will send a message to our brain that everything is safe and we're actually okay, and that will help de-stress us. Okay, So we're keeping those arms shaking, keeping the jaw relaxed, and we're now starting to really let go of the diaphragm and really let go of the whole of the all the intestinal organs. Okay, just let them float around. They all kind of swim around and float around, and they really should be nice and free and move about nice and easily. Give them a bit of a shake. Get down into the hips and the pelvis. So now I'm starting to just shake this way as well, just keeping all this open, keeping this joint really open. Very good. And then down to the knees. And down into the ankles and the feet. Very good. So it's a really good bit of shaking and releasing. Okay, feel better? Yeah, exactly. Okay, let's switch things around a little bit this week. What we'll do is because we've got so many middle burner voters, okay, let's unblock the middle burner, keep it completely free, and then we'll drop down, build up the lower burner, and then release the upper burner, just for something different. Okay, and also because this links with point of the week, and I'm going to explain how the yang channels link with the middle burner and how stress and everything can affect certain symptoms that we can use the yang channels to treat. Okay, sound good? Right, so I think what we're going to do is we're going to do a real number this week on the middle burner, and we're going to do some Ampuka therapy on ourselves, and what we're going to do is make sure that we can release this whole middle burner. Middle burner is related to the earth and the wood elements, particularly can get obstructed with liver stagnation. So what we're going to do is we just gently press in here. We're going to make sure that we release all of this tension around the diaphragm and around the digestive organs. Now you can press it individually like this with the fingertips, but the other thing you do, which I like doing, is pressing with both hands, gently pressing in. There we go. I'm just pressing right around the diaphragm, gently pressing in and releasing that whole area there. Now once we've done that, then we can go round in a clockwise direction. This is Ampuka therapy. I'm just pressing in, noticing if there's any areas of tension. Pressing around. There we go, all the way round. Okay, and now we're going to do this rubbing thing where we put the hands together and we're going to go round in a nice big circle. This is right around the whole intestines. Okay. And now if we go in the center of the abdomen and just rub here, we can relax this area here. Okay, very good. Okay, so now what can happen with the wood element, one of the big things that can happen with the wood element is we can get frustration, and there's been plenty of that around, right? And what can happen is that can move up the body and it can get stuck in the shoulders and in the neck, and it can cause headaches, neck stiffness, this kind of thing. Okay, so and that can come from the middle burner, from the liver. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to do a number on that. We're going to release the middle burner, we're going to release it down, and then what I'll do is I'm going to go back up to point of the week, and I'll show you some exciting things about that point that we can really use for that. So let's get this middle burner nice and relaxed, and now we're going to continue the connection down the yang channels and the yin channels of the legs. Okay, So what we're doing is we're opening this up, and we're going to basically connect down into the legs and help the release here of the middle burner. So let's start off with the stomach. The stomach channel runs just around the abdominal muscles, just around here. It goes down here. And it goes down the outside of the legs, like this. And up the inside. Yeah. So abdominal muscles, stomach channel, down the outside of the legs. Okay. Now, if you want to be a bit more sophisticated about this, you can tune into your middle burner. See if you can find some places, like I've got a place right here, that can feel this releasing and connecting. Okay. So we're going down. Down the stomach channel, up the spleen channel. Okay, on the front, outside and inside of the legs. Get down here. Very good. Okay, excellent. I'm just going to brush off down the front of the legs 3 times. Okay, very good. Okay, so now we have the liver and gallbladder channels. These run down the sides of the body. If you remember, we did this liver point here, liver 13 by the floating rib. And so we're going to pick that up here, go down the sides of the body, into the buttocks right here. We've got a nice gallbladder point here that we'll get to later in this series. And we go down the outside the legs. Again, seeing if you can find anywhere interesting to tap. And then up the inside of the legs. Okay, very good. And then, again, sides of the body. Down the outside of the legs. Very good. One more. Good. And inside. Okay, now remember this movement that we discovered when we were doing the liver, this movement from liver 13 to liver 14. Okay, from the gate to the gate of hope. So we're basically releasing the diaphragm and we're connecting liver 13 and liver 14, which is just below the nipple here, just on the front of the body there. Okay, it's quite often a little bit sore there. So we're going like this, tapping here, giving ourselves hope, releasing the middle burner. Okay, that's it, and then shaking out. Okay, so look, we've released the middle burner and we've connected it down through the channels in the legs. What we're going to do now is we're going to switch it around and we're going to clear the gallbladder channel from the head all the way down. And the reason for that is because it links with point of the week. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to go switch straight up to the head now, and we're going to press around the sides of the head. Okay. You're going to work the forehead. This is a nice thing to do, is turning the head, rubbing the forehead like this. Go around the eyes. Around the jaw. Okay. And then I'm just pressing around the eyes here, around the lower part of the eyes. Around the orbit here. Very good. Down the front of the neck, this is the stomach channel. There we are, right down the front. And now we're going to work the back of the neck. Remember the bladder channel, remember celestial pillar. the top of the neck there, going down. And remember gallbladder 20. Remember this one here, the one that's used for the eyes and for clearing the head. Remember we did that last week? We're going to go down there. And the gallbladder channel runs down to here and it runs right onto the top of the shoulder. And that brings us to point of the week. Okay, so let's just skip through these slides until we get back to point of the week. And there it is. Oh, there's our birthday cake again. There we are, gallbladder 21. It's on the top of the shoulders. It's halfway between the spine and this little bony bit that sticks out here. So it's right on the top of the shoulders. Okay, it's fantastic for linking in with this. If you can still be squeezing down when you're listening to me, working down from the head, from the sides of the head and the eyes down into the top of the shoulder. It's used for stiffness and pain in the neck and shoulders and arms, but it's also used to help the effect of anger and frustration. So when we get angry and frustrated, energy rises up from the middle burner and it goes into the shoulders of the neck and can cause headaches, shoulder tension and stuff like that. And this point has a very strong downward action, and it's really, really great point to know how to use. But because it has a very strong downward action, it's contraindicated in pregnancy. So if you are pregnant, please don't stimulate this point too much because it can help the baby come out. We don't want that before it happens. And I've actually used it, we've all used it many times in Shiatsu Center when we've been doing birth inductions. It's a very good point for birth inductions to use in other combinations. Fascinating. Very strong downward action. So let's see if we can really experience that, and I'll show you how you can experience that and link it up with the middle burner and the other work we've done connecting up. Okay, so okay, we've got here, we've released the middle burner, we've put it down through into the earth. Okay, we've cleared the sides of the head, we've cleared the sides of the neck. So now if you just tune into your energy, you'll probably feel that there's a bit of disconnection between here and the middle burner and the feet. And the reason for that is because we need to get this downward action of gallbladder 21. And this is how we do it. Okay, we keep relaxed. We can support our elbow with this hand like this. And what we do is when we're tapping this point, which is right on the top of the shoulder here, we're imagining sending energy down towards the feet. And again, when we use it for birth inductions, we usually focus down to the uterus and it has this effect of kind of opening out this way. But we can use the same energetic action to get any anger and frustration that's coming up this way down, back down into through the legs and down. Okay, so let's do that. We're going to tap right on top of the shoulder, right on gallbladder 21. I'll show you where it is. Right on the top there. Okay, and as we do that, we're going to release the shoulder. That's it, release the shoulder, release the sides of the body, release the hips. That's it, release the knees and the ankles. And use this visualization of energy going down through the body, down into the feet. Okay, just keep going for a little bit more. Okay, very good. Now, if you just compare your left and right shoulder, okay, I'm sure you can feel a real difference now, having done that. Okay, in fact, I look completely lopsided. I look like this side's just like dropped down. So let's do the other side. Right on top of the shoulder, opening up that shoulder, opening up this shoulder and side of the body, opening up the diaphragm, relaxing, and sending energy down the body. We're descending any rising liver qi, it's called in Chinese medicine. Tapping it downwards. Okay, so now you can see why we did the middle burner release first, because what we want to do is open up this space, release this, and then look what happens. Can you feel that now? Can you feel that? You can feel a connection between here and the diaphragm and the abdominal area. And that feeling is a really lovely feeling of connection downwards. That's descending your liver chi, everyone. Very highly recommended. Okay, so let's just do a little bit more shaking and get it down even further. I'm going to focus on that point in my mind, sending energy down my body into my feet. Okay, imagine it. Gallbladder 21, sending energy down. Okay, so if you get angry or frustrated in the week, you start to feel your shoulders going up, you're starting to feel really kind of agitated, 5 minutes of just doing this on Gallbladder 21, wiping the sides of your face, brushing down your body, guaranteed to help descend the liver chi. It's such a useful point to know. Gallbladder 21. Okay, excellent. Well done, everyone. Brilliant. Okay, so now we've cleared the middle burner. We've released Gallbladder 21 and the sides of the heads. We're all joined up. Our liver energy is starting to settle down, and we're in excellent position now to start tonifying the lower burner. Now, we want to do that because this is a water element and that nurtures the wood. So to keep this released, we want to have this nice and strong. So let's rub our hands together again. Place our hand on the lower dantian. Whoa, feel those shoulders. Doesn't that feel great? Okay, my shoulders feel amazing. Just really open all the way down here. Ideal. Okay, very nice. Okay, very nice. Let's see how easy it is to get that breathing down through into the lower burner now. So we're going to breathe in. Bring the breath down. Bring the chi with the breath down into the lower burner. We're going to hold it. And we're going to just let the breath come out. We'll keep the chi in the lower burner. Okay, let's just do a few breaths. Breathing in. And breathing out. Okay, just relax those hips as that breath settles into the pelvic floor there. One more, breathing in. Bring the chi in with the breath. We're going to hold it. Breathe out the air. And we're going to hold the chi in this area here. Okay, strengthening up the lower burner. Let's circulate around the lower dantian. We're just going to activate that. Okay, so I'm just literally just below the navel here. I've got 2 hands. Got that? Relaxing the hips, get that energy right through into the lower back. If you want to stimulate it directly, this is always good. Bladder 23. Use the backs of my hands. There we go. If you can't do that, you've got tension in your shoulders, although you shouldn't have now after we've done Gallbladder 21. You can continue to do this, just rubbing this area here, keeping it all really open. Okay, now you probably noticed just how fluid this action feels now, and that's the power of Gallbladder 21 to release the shoulders and descend the chi down into the middle burner. It's a fantastic point. Really worth knowing. Okay, good. So let's just do a little bit of meridian work to really tonify the lower burner. So we're going to use the kidney channel. Before we go any further, it's really important that we increase our connection with the earth. So just for a second, tune into your feet and see how you feel connected to the earth. Do you feel like you're floating up? Do you feel really connected, really down? I must say I could do with a lot more downward action myself. I'm just feeling a little bit floaty like this today. And the point of choice, as you know, I'm sure, is of course kidney 1, our favourite bubbling spring point. So let's make sure we do a good job on that. Now that we've released the middle burner, we need to nurture the lower burner, and we do that through kidney 1 and through the kidney channels. So let's do that together. I'm going to just, oh, my feet are cold. Just tapping kidney 1. It's 1/3 of the distance down the midline of the inside of the foot, remember? So it's just kind of there. We can work the whole of the sole of the foot. Hey, get that kidney 1 activated. Okay, so in the 5 elements, the water element, obviously it's just like trees need water, don't they? Plants need water to grow. And the water element is connected to the lower burner. Wood element is the middle burner. So in the circle of the 5 elements, it's important to nourish the water so that it can nourish the wood. Otherwise the wood gets brittle and can't flow properly. That's the idea. So we need that yin quality to support the release. We've done a great bit of releasing today, really good bit of releasing. So I think this is going to really work really well this week. Let's just see what happens when we stand up after having activated kidney 1. Okay, I'm going to put my socks on because it's a bit cold. I want to keep my feet warm. I'm going to put my sock back on this foot. And then we do the other foot. Okay, so here we go into kidney 1. Nice close up of the sole of my foot there. Okay, don't forget it's 1/3 of the distance down the midline. Another good reason for working kidney 1, if you do get into the red zone, because the red zone is very closely connected with liver qi stagnation, liver qi rising in Chinese medicine. So one of the ways you can get out of the red zone is basically increasing your yin, which is basically a chill out factor. The yin is the cooling, nurturing aspect of your energy. And what can happen when we go into the red zone is we kind of get hot, overactive, our face gets red, you know, we get activated. And in Chinese medicine term, that's basically a yang state. So kidney 1 is probably the most important point for getting you out of that red zone. So you can either tap your gallbladder 21 to bring your energy down when it starts going up. That's one side of it. And the other side of it that we can do is to increase our yin, our connection with the earth, that cooling, grounding aspect of our energy. And that's the other side of the yin-yang equation of the red zone. Okay, the red zone is a combination of not enough yin and too much yang in the body. When I say too much, it's what we need if we're running away from a tiger, but maybe we don't need it in the evening when we finished and we need to relax. Okay, I'm just going to tap my feet on the mat, keep my ankles nice and relaxed. Okay, excellent. Can't wait to see what it feels like to stand up now. Let's just see what happens. Okay, oh wow, doesn't that feel absolutely great? Can you feel that feeling of connection now with the earth, opening up kidney 1? And now if you combine that feeling with this wonderful release from gallbladder 21, we've got the best of both worlds. We've got the yang energy being sent down and calmed down with gallbladder 21, and we've got yin energy coming up with kidney 1. And that's just a really nice place to be. The lower part of the burner is nice and solid. Do a little bit more on that. The middle burner's nicely opened out. Okay, we're getting there. Okay, so how about a little bit more lower burner work? Let's pick up the kidney channel from kidney 3, which is just behind the ankle there. Remember that, the source point. And we're going to go up the inside back of the legs, into the top of the pelvis here and around, and then down the backs of the outside of the leg, the back of the legs here. This is the bladder channel. Okay, this is all helping to stabilize the lower burner. up the kidney channel. Down, through. There we are. And then just brushing off. Okay, checking in time. Kidney 1 nice and open, lower burner nice and stable, middle burner nice and open and relaxed. So that just leaves us with the upper burner to make sure we get that nice and open and relaxed in the last 10-15 minutes. Okay, so let's do that. We're going to use the lung Qi Gong exercise to stimulate and open the lungs. So let's do this. This is breathing in. And just a reminder that if you start going into the blue zone, you don't want to exhale very slowly and long. If we want to calm from the red zone down to the green zone, you want to emphasize the exhalation. So it's like this. Just try it. So it's short inhalation, long exhalation. Okay, now if you get into the blue zone then you don't want to do that because it calms you down and makes you even more kind of like quiet. So you want to reverse it. So something like this. Now, if you just try that, you'll notice it kind of energizes you and it kind of like activates you. Now, obviously, you don't need that if you're in the red zone, but if you're in the blue zone, you're tipping into the blue zone, you want to get out, get plenty of aerobic exercise, and when you're doing the breathing exercises, make sure you don't do a long exhalation because it's the way the parasympathetic nervous system works. Okay, so I'll let you just adjust it depending on what you want. If you think you're more or less in the middle, you want to keep it fairly even, the breaths. If you're feeling a bit like you're too much in the blue zone today, then just put a bit more emphasis on the inhalation. And if you feel you're a little bit more in the red zone, then you want to emphasize the exhalation. So it's okay. So if you just adjust it for what you think is best for you, and then we can start working on the lung channel, which goes down into the thumb. So we're going to move our thumbs outwards and you'll feel that opening up this area here. And this is where the lung channel runs into the body. So what I'm doing is I'm opening it out this way, opening out this, and this is the lung channel opening. And it's the best way really to energize the upper heater, the lungs and the upper heater, okay? Okay, now let's check our position. Let's get that kidney 1 really connected with the earth. Make the most of that. Feel that softening, connecting into the earth. We're going to soften our knees and our hips. And let's go for the top of the head now. We're going to go for that imaginary thread, holding us up. Feel the sacrum just hanging down. Very nice, okay? And the arms are just nice and even. Lovely. Okay, very good. Okay, that's the lungs, nice and opened up. And now we're going to open up the pericardium by just doing some stretches. This is the connection with the heart. So remember, we breathe in like this, breathing out. Whoops, I'm hitting my plant. Breathing in. Breathing out. Breathing in. Breathing out. Okay, I'm breathing right in here. I'm stretching back into this middle finger here. Okay, great, excellent. So let's do one more stretch for the heart, which is bringing the hands together. The heart channel runs from the armpit into the little finger. So we're breathing in, we're breathing in, breathing out. Breathing in, breathing out. Breathing in and breathing out. Okay, very good. Okay, that's the heart. So that's the 3 channels of the arms stimulated, the lungs, the pericardium and the heart. So let's just help them along by doing a little bit of doing. And this is for the lungs. We're going to just work around lung 1 here. Taking some nice deep breaths, feel the connection right into the lungs, and we're going to go down towards the thumb. And we're going to come back up the large intestine channel, which is this one that runs up from this finger here. Okay, just to make a circuit. That goes up onto the shoulder and then round into lung 1 again. Bring it down. And then round and up. Very good, we just do that 3 times. Have I done it 3 times? I'll do it one more time for luck, just in case I got lost count there for a second. We go up here, round we go, and then brushing off. Other side, lungs. Make some nice sounds, so reverberate the whole rib cage. And we go down towards the thumb, and then up this way, up the large intestine channel. Very good. Okay, that's 1. This is the second one. Okay, and go round. This is the 3rd pass down the lung channel. Okay. Okay, very good. Okay, so now we have the pericardium channel. This is the one we mainly work for stiffness in the chest area. So if you're an upper burner person, you voted for upper burner, and you're getting a kind of heavy feeling here, we've got a lot of clients coming with that at the moment. Some obstructions here around this area here. It's like emotional holding and stagnation in the channels, pericardium and the heart channels here. There may not be anything wrong with your heart. Go to the doctor, they take all the tests, there's nothing wrong, but you're still getting these sensations of heaviness or pain. You know, what's emotional? Okay, and what it is, it's the channels that are being obstructed, and we can do something about that because Doing is really good. Shiatsu is really, really good for this. We do a lot of this in the Shiatsu Center, clearing this out and opening up this whole area here. So this is how you can do it for yourself. What I like to do is I like to actually get my knuckles in between the ribs, because you can actually tap in between the ribs here. And we're working down away from the midline, away from the sternum. We get into the shoulder joint here. And then we want to go down the middle of the inside of the arm, down towards the middle finger there. That's the pericardium channel. And while we're doing this, what we're doing is we're releasing here and we're feeling any connections that we can feel down this channel into the chest. So I've got one here, just around here. I can feel it connecting into this part here. And that's a connective tissue connection, embryological connection from the limbs into the internal organs. So it's useful. We can use these points down here to release the chest. Okay, let's just do it another couple of times. Going right in here, finding anywhere that's stiff, just tapping away. We tend to work the pericardium channel because it's a bit more accessible than the heart channel. The heart channel is quite a tender, kind of vulnerable channel, so we tend to be very light with that. But with the pericardium channel, we can really get in there and actually work it quite strongly, and it's very effective for releasing the upper burner. Okay, so let's just do that now 3 times. This will really help relieve any sort of tightness or heaviness that you might have that's emotionally connected with the upper burner. Okay. Generally speaking, the upper burners obviously is mainly related to the lungs and the heart, pericardium and the heart. Okay, let's see. Whoa, that's good. Okay, now the other side. And just making sure my knuckles there are just like in between the ribs. Very nice. Very good. Okay, there we are. Excellent. Very good. So we're going to brush that off. Okay, so now the heart channel. Wow, doesn't that feel good? Feels so much more open here. The heart channel is quite an internal channel, as I say, so we tend to go a little bit lightly on it. But let me just show you where that is. That runs from the armpit, right in the armpit, connects deep into the heart, and it runs down the back of the arm here. So we're going to go very gently with this, just tapping it gently. There's a point right here at the end of this crease here that's like a landmark, and it goes down into the wrist here, and then it goes round, up the outside of the body here, okay? Lovely, that's it. So nice and delicate on the heart channel all the way down. Okay, and again, we're connecting it in with our mind. We're connecting this line all the way down deep into the chest. There we are. Okay, and if you want to just do a bit of self shiatsu on the little finger, just squeezing it all the way down to the end, that finishes it off nicely. Okay, what a great thorough workout we've got here for the yin channels of the arm. Brilliant. So let's do that again. The armpit, tapping along, tapping all the way down to the little finger on the inside of the arm here. Very good, and round again. Okay, nice. One more time. Okay, and then back up this way here. Lovely. Okay, that should really sort out that upper burner. So let's just see what's happening. Okay, so let's tune in again. Make sure we've got that kidney 1 nicely connected to the earth. Really nice feeling. We're opening up the ankles, the knees, and the hips. Nice solid feeling in the lower heater, nice and relaxed in the middle heater. Now let's check into the upper heater now. You should feel it kind of zinging a bit, opening out this way, and feeling a real connection with the arms. So let's just do one more stretch here. Just check this stretch again, breathing in, breathing out. Doesn't that feel nice and comfortable? Just tune into the chest there and nicely open the whole thing up. Really good. Okay, excellent. Well, we've already done some work on the head to get down to gallbladder 21. So let's just finish off. We'll do a few more points on the head and the face, make sure all this is clear, a bit of work on the back, and then putting it all together and we'll be done. Okay, so let's just go in. We've done a lot on the sides of the head. We've done a little bit here, but let's just tap along the top of the head here. This is the bladder channel, and we'll follow the bladder channel all the way down the body just to connect up the whole of the spine. So if you remember, we go along the top of the head, and then along the back of the neck. Remember this bit? You can either tap or squeeze along the bladder channel. Okay, and then we're going to go and see how far down we can get. If you've got someone to help you, they can do this down your own back. Otherwise, if you're like me and you need to do it on your own, we're going to go down as far as we can. Okay, and then going to go as high as we can up here. We're going to go down onto the sacrum. So we're going to go as high as we can here, see if we can touch here. If you're super flexible, I can't quite make it. Oh, yes, I can. Must be the yoga, look. Just about get there. And then down. This is where you need your exercise balls and rub them up and down on the wall, don't you? That's the only way you can really get to this middle bit unless you're super flexible. So let's just get that bladder meridian nicely tapped. And then brushing down. Excellent. Very good. Okay, so now we're just a bit of a shake up. Let's make sure everything's connected up. And let's just remind ourselves of that lovely feeling, gallbladder 21, sending all that liver chi down, and kidney 1, sending all that yin energy up the body. And we can just stand in a very comfortable way now, really enjoying that feeling of the balance between yin and yang, nicely flowing. And just to finish off, let's do some of these breathing exercises. Tuning into the ground, floating our head up. Okay, we're going to just sink down, bring the arms up, breathing in, and we're going to breathe out and send the energy down as we lower the hands. So we breathe in, sink down. Okay, we're breathing out through the mouth. We're sinking our chi down through into the lower dantian. Very good. Floating the head up, breathing in. Breathing in. Breathing out. Breathing in. Breathing out. Okay, very good. How are we doing for time? Oh, we've only got a few minutes left, so it's time to tune in. Let's tune in to our 3 burners again and our whole energy field and just see how we feel. Do we feel more balanced, about the same, or less balanced, just in case you had a reaction? We haven't had many of those the last few weeks, but I'm going to run that poll. Just tune in to see how you are. And wow, there's lots of stuff going on in the chat. Any questions? All right, more information about the embryological thing. Okay, yeah, loads more stuff on that. Maybe we can mention that in future weeks. It all comes from Dan Keown's book, Sparking the Machine, Linda, and it's all about how there are embryological connections between the channels and the internal organs. It's all fascinating stuff. Okay, Pericardium Channel, yeah, links in, and it also links with the diaphragm, interestingly enough. Okay, anyway, I must run this poll, which is, how do you feel now? Let's just find out. Let's see how we've all done this week as a group. So do you feel more balanced generally, about the same, or less balanced if you've had a reaction? If you have got a reaction and you need help, then please let us know. If you feel about the same, I really encourage you to get the recording and work on it, especially if you're a middle burner voter. Okay, that's it, I think, for our very first birthday. Put the cake back up. Yeah, okay, so there we are. 1 whole year of Wednesday classes. It's been so much fun, and Basti, thank you so much. You've been really busy on the chat, Basti. I can't believe it. It looks like a book. You could write a book from all of that. I'm going to put a heart on the chat to say thank you to everyone. And I also want to say a massive thank you to all of you who've been able to donate for the classes. If you can't and you're having problems, don't worry about that, because that's what they're for. They're for those of you who are in real trouble. Actually, that also includes us, because we had to pay for the building and everything. And we've just about made it for the last year. It's been a little bit close some months, but we have basically survived. And we've paid all our bills, and we're still here broadcasting to you, and we're looking after many thousands of Shiatsu practitioners as well worldwide. So we're looking after our clients, and we're looking after all of those people, and looking after ourselves. So it's been a wonderful year in that way. You know, we've been able to stay together and, you know, been able to work. And just want to say thank you to the team for being part of that whole amazing experience as well, turning the whole thing into a cooperative venture. It's been an amazing experience.
Absolutely has. Yeah, I think it's changed all of us to great degrees, and it's been a beautiful thing to be able to share so much with so many people. So
yeah. Okay, great. See you next week. Okay, I'm going to end the session.
bye, everyone.
Bye.